Hello, everybody, and welcome to another Wednesday stream. Yes, we're doing it in the morning. Why? I have to work today. Simply put, I had to sort of shift my days off to sort of a Thursday, Friday. I wanted to keep the Wednesday show time slot going for everybody. So here we are doing it in the morning very quickly before I have to run away to work, as it were. I'll be busy on Friday having to take Katie in for surgery. So, simply put, that is why I'm now on today at 10 a.m. This will not be a new time slot. I do not like mornings. I like to do my shows later in the day. It's just this week, everybody. We will be all right next week for doing it at 3. We are just going to keep this at a 10 show for this week. What's happening, Saul Stanley? Good to see you. What's up, CSLRC Lauren? Good to see you. What's up, Sideways 12? What's up, Walter Wiseman? All right. What's up, Dale Ski Miss Case Garden? Good morning to you. I hope everyone's having a beautiful day so far. I'm awake. I mean, I'm normally up, but I mean, I'm not normally functioning this quickly in the morning to where I'm trying to be able to do a show. Sorry for being about a minute or two late there. The silly screen behind me kept falling down and I was kind of rushing. I still haven't even had time to pour water on my coffee grounds in my Bodum. But that's all right. It is what it is. What's happening, Marky? Good to see you. This time is great for the UK. Yep, it's not great for my brain actually doing the damn show, though. Going forward, who knows? Maybe one day we'll be able to have a show or a couple of shows that, like, we used to do one sort of more geared to the UK and the European audiences. One was more geared to the North American audiences. And at the end of the day, you know, we do what we can. We do our darndest to stay on top of everything and be inclusive for our timing of these shows. But, I mean, it's been rough working as much as I am at the club. I mean, at least, hey, I'm not living paycheck to paycheck at the moment, which is interesting. Almost still paycheck to paycheck. But I mean, you know, we're covering things. We've got the store open. We've been getting things slowly but surely going. It's just trying to find time to do everything. I know. Hey, good to have you here, Marky. At the end of the day, I know we haven't had the mixer pack come on to the store yet. That is okay. We will be getting that up this week. It's just been a busier than hell week for me. Between trying to work all the time, getting the orders out. I've been working on the Cadillac into the Cadillac fix. We're doing a bunch of other stuff on the Cadillac, and it's just been kind of all over the bloody place. But we will be releasing this week, finally, the mixer pack. We're going to be releasing the review video on the Bubble Bag Dudes little bubble hash machine there. We're going to be doing a review on that. We've got lots of plant material to be processing. And so we're gonna check it out. We're gonna tell you whether we like it or not. What's up, little Chewy Stewie? What's up, Mud Swat? What's up, Moonwater Ranch? All right. Walter Wiseman's like, it's 3 a.m. for me. Laugh out loud. Oh my goodness. Well, thank you for tuning in, Walter Wiseman. I hope it's a good 3 a.m. there. It is 10:05 a.m. here, where I am coming to you from Vancouver, British Columbia. But yeah, so that video we're going to be starting to shoot on Thursday. So Thursday is going to be kind of two things on my schedule. One, shoot the review video on the Bubble Hash machine, as well as clean my house because, well, Katie's going to be here after her surgery recovering. And it's probably best to have her not, you know, in a chaotic pigsty while she's trying to recover. What's up, little Chewy Stewie? I'm just chilling, man. You know, I'm not a big fan of doing these shows in the mornings. I'm still coming to terms with consciousness, but it is what it is, especially when you work nights. You know what I'm saying? But I also want to take a moment just to say a big thank you to everybody who's been buying off the store. It's so cool to see all of these packages going all over the world. You know, well, the three main places we've been selling to are the UK, the States, and then across Canada. So big shout out to everybody from all of those havens and shit. Have I popped my beans? Nope. No, I have not. Been too busy. Miss K's Garden. This week, I'm working on trying to, one, make the review video, two, getting beans popped and getting things back. Really, I can't get a grow going until I get some of the shit out of this house. So one of the things this week I got to do is get a storage locker so I can actually store. There's just too much shit in here. Sorry, my allergies are fucking with me today. You know, it's amazing how when you have a 2,500 square foot house and then your ex dumps everything you ever owned, both of you, on you, and you have a tiny 500 square foot apartment, if maybe even that. I don't even know if it's that big. It's interesting trying to fit all this shit into this tiny little place. So hopefully soon, I'll actually get my ass in gear in terms of getting a storage locker, moving things out, and we will be actually able to be in a place to not only be shooting the educational videos, but to be doing the grows and all of that jazz. What's up, Visible Farms? Good to see you. Good to see you. Well, trying to be there, Marky. We're trying to be there. I mean, I'm looking forward to getting a few more tents going in here too. Hey, AC Infinity, want to sponsor the channel? Send us some tents. We'll review them because we need more tents. But we'll be doing some breeding. We're going to be doing the grows. I mean, the first grow, obviously, as we keep telling you, is when we eventually get around to doing it, is we're going to pop some Galactic Citrus Shiva beans. Everybody at home who's popped them, you're going to be ahead of me. I'm sorry. It's just one of the realities of just life. Excuse me. I'm still waking up, so I still haven't even had a bloody coffee yet. But we will be doing all of that this week, so I'm very excited about that. I mean, the one good thing is when I have my surgery in the beginning of November, I'll have lots of time to make videos for all of you. I'm not allowed to really move much, but I'm sure I can figure it out without hurting myself. How's Betty and Mogwai doing? I have sole custody of the dogs. They only have one parent now, and that is me. So the dogs are doing well. They're going to be going to the groomers tomorrow. So no, they're doing well though. They've acclimatized to city life. They go for walks now. They still hate all other dogs for the most part. So I have to be very aware when I'm out and about walking the dogs in the city because, they may be 5 pounds, but in their minds, they are 6'8" and 400 pounds. But, it is what it is. But overall, things are going well. Mudswat says, I wonder if vampires drink a hot cup of blood in the morning. I don't know. Maybe. I'd say probably warm. I think they're into the warm blood, shall we say. But anyway, what can we talk about of updates here? We covered the mixer pack, so that'll be so this week we'll be launching the mixer pack of beans. So that's going to be 40 or 50 beans to the pack. There's going to be 4 or 5 strains in there. It's going to give you a little taste of everything that we kind of got going on there for you to play with those. So those will come out this week. We're also going to have K-Town Kush bean packs. We're going to be selling those. 2/3 of proceeds from that will go directly to Gazzers and Mel over in New Zealand to try to help them at this hard time with their legal battles. And the fact that nobody, it seems a lot of the time, wants to hire someone when they've been wrapped in this whole horrible fabricated conviction by the police and the legal system of New Zealand. New Zealand, get with the fucking time. Stop persecuting the plant people. It would be great. Tag one for you, please. Oh, hell yeah. Don't worry. At Miss K's Garden, there's going to be tons of mixer packs, right? There's going to be enough to go around for everybody. We have lots of the beans. It's going to be okay. So everybody's going to get a chance to buy one of those mixer packs if that is what they so choose. One of the things I'm really excited about too is getting some of this sort of more retro or old school line of genetics together for everyone over the next year. I've been debating in my head of, because we can only bring back so many things at a time, right? What would be a great thing to bring back first? I think a lot of people love Sats, even though I'm an Indica Kush guy. That's what I love. What's up, Growers Plus? Good to see you, my friend. Getting a nice old school Sat, something that people can get nostalgic about, I think, out there. So that's where part of me is really genuinely thinking about maybe rocking that lemon tie, maybe, or hell, Green Goblin Sat. Or maybe we could get fun and do a cross of 2 old school worlds to make a new world of like a Green Goblin lemon tie hybrid. Both Sats, both interesting. It could be fun. I don't know. I've been toying around with these ideas and kind of contemplating, out of all the old genetics that we have, what should we go first? I wish we had the space that we had before. We could have done a lot more very quickly for everybody. But hey, sometimes, you get betrayed and lose your life. And then you have to rebuild and, work with what you got, right? So at least we got all the equipment we need. We just need to, get organized and try to somehow do all of this in a very, very tiny space. Yeah, but that's fun. I'm looking forward to that. I'm really looking forward to getting growing again, though. I won't lie to you. It's been far too long for me without plants going. We had the one little mini grow that we did in the 2x4 when we first came back to town. That was fun, but it wasn't our genetics. It wasn't anything that was really in the end kind of our cup of tea per se. And that's, I'm just very particular about what I like in a genetic. They were all right. They were all right, but they weren't really what I want to grow. Like, I mean, I'm a very particular man. 1 second here. I'm just reading. Yeah, no, a little Chewy Stewie. I mean, he's hard to get a hold of sometimes. He's got a lot going on these days. Yesterday, happy belated birthday to Gazzers, by the way. It was his birthday yesterday. I tried to get him on the phone, but he was busy doing family stuff. So, I mean, just know that my thoughts were with you. I'm sure everyone around the world is wishing you a happy belated birthday. And I hope things start looking up in this new year, this next year of your life. For those of you who don't know the story for Gazzers and Mel, they've been battling a legal case in New Zealand. Basically, the Popo showed up, raided their house, took everything. Gazzers lost all of his grow equipment. He lost every genetic that he had. He had tons of crosses that he had developed. That's all gone. They fabricated the number of plants they had. They doubled the plant number on the police arrest thing. And the fact is like Gazzers maybe had a few plants in flower, but most of them were like little seedling babies this big. So they're blowing it up out of proportion. They're trying to make an example out of these evil, horrible people, which they are not. They are just people with a few plants. So New Zealand's really got to stop persecuting these people and clogging the legal system with these things that don't count, in my humble 2 cents. I mean, the fact is there should be an inclusion for small growers. There should be an inclusion in my own country. I mean, we've been priced out of our own industry here as well. But the funny thing is in New Zealand, there are companies that have been allowed to produce seeds. There are companies that are allowed to produce flour. Here's the kicker. They've even allowed said companies to acquire their genetics from the illicit market. So you're condoning the acquisition of genetics from the illicit market, while then persecuting said people that you're allowing the people with their special little piece of paper that they paid for to be able to acquire what these people are doing. I mean, where do the genetics come from? Stop busting the fucking grows then. How about you make it accessible, make it easy and feasible for those who choose to engage in the industry to get into the industry? I don't know. That's kind of a good idea, but they're not. And so really right now, Gazzers and Mel are putting on, they've got the fight of their lives on their hands. They're facing jail time and they're trying to not have this destroy their lives when all they're guilty of is loving a plant and producing seeds and growing a small amount of medical cannabis for their personal consumption, and then also being green fairies and helping those around them that also need this to live a better quality of life. And the fact of the matter is if you go to New Zealand, the price point in terms of the illicit market is off the charts. Like, I mean, it's so expensive to get anything in New Zealand. Most of the pot is crap, and it's extremely expensive. So, and then, the legal options they have, because they have their medical permits there, but then they get to buy this swag bag that's like shit that couldn't sell in Canada. So they shipped it over to New Zealand and they're paying like $200, $300, $400 an ounce for shitty weed. Like, what the fuck is that? I mean, so anyway, long story short, that is basically the story of what's going on in our dear friends' lives. They're fighting the fight, though. They're throwing down. They're standing their ground. They're taking on the man. They're taking on the system, and they're trying to stand up for what is in fact right. So our hearts are with you. Our support is with you. That's also why we're going to make the K-Town Kush beans that we do have available for those at home. You can grow one of the things that Gazzers came up with, as well as every time you purchase that, 2/3 of those proceeds are going to go directly to helping Gazzers and Mel trying to move forward. And that, in the end, will be a positive thing for their lives. Nothing wrong with NZ weed. We're not saying there is anything wrong. We're just saying, well, one, first of all, I know for a fact most of it isn't very good compared to the world that I live in and Gazzers lives in when he's producing his own medicine. The problem isn't the weed, though. The problem is the government and what they are doing to the people and the persecution, particularly in the South Island. That's right. It's more conservative. And the fact is, there's a lot of people who are being pinned up as this example of this horrible illicit world, when these are people that are moms and dads. They aren't criminals. They are just growing pot. Okay. How about you go take out the mongrel mob? Instead, what does the New Zealand government do? They give the mongrel mob a shitload of money to create a rehabilitation program and center when they're the ones who are guilty of bringing the meth in. That makes sense. What the hell is that? All right. But anyway, long story short, we don't need to get too far down that rabbit hole. But just know, send your positive thoughts and wishes to our friends and family over in New Zealand there. They will prevail. At least that's my hope anyway. And I know they're not going to give up until they do that in the end. Daleski OG says, I'm in Nevada and I have a medical card. Steal outrageous prices and garbage weed. If I grew something that looked that good, smelled that good from the shop, but tastes like crap, I'd want to hang myself. Well, exactly. And I mean, the same thing is everywhere. These medical sources, typically now, they didn't used to be. When it was sort of this weird half legal, half illegal thing in Vancouver here, you could go to a dispensary and get some decent pot. But that was the fact is back then how it worked is it was people like me showing up at the store saying, hey, I've produced this crop. And then we would sell it to the store, and the store would sell it to you. That was a great way to work it. It was like a farmer's market in a sense. It is basically produce. It's not something that we need to be irradiating. We need to do this. We need to do that. We need to have tons of red tape and regulation because, oh no, what happens when you do that? Well, look at that. You've got all this regulation anyway. And in Canada, we've had so many recalls from moldy weed, dead bugs, hell, even living bugs sometimes, and shit that's not safe. So really, at the end of the day, we really need, as a world, I think, to shift our conceptual idea of how we implement the cannabis industry. Really, at the end of the day, let farmers be farmers. Let them sell their fucking wares. Let them produce cannabis. Okay. If really the only thing I really feel that should be done, okay, is like, let's say I have X amount of pot that I've produced as a person in my country. I could go to a lab. Okay. I get that weed tested. They make sure it's not filled with mold. They make sure it's safe. Then they give me a little sticker. This is approved pot. It's okay. And then I can go sell it to whomever I want. Obviously, don't sell it to kids. We'll stick with rules like, it got to be at least 19. I'm okay with that. That's totally fine. But then we can go and sell it how we will. I could set up a stand at a farmer's market, or I could go and buy a storefront, or I can do online sales. I mean, it's just ridiculous. The malarkey and bullshit that's being perpetuated through this supposed legalization of cannabis. Okay. It's just a joke. It's just a joke. And what we're doing is we're actually ruining people's lives. We're clogging our legal systems. We're clogging our jails with people who aren't criminals, rather than dealing with real criminals and real actual legal shit that should be being dealt with. I don't know. Kind of makes sense. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, we can move on from that. Mudswat says, I can't imagine what I smoked when I was smoking brickweed. Oh, yeah. You probably got all kinds of bugs up in that brickweed. Saul Stanley says it's $105 for wax in New York and garbage. Yeah, no, it's true. I mean, so Saul Stanley, for example, if you know where to go here, like the prices here in Vancouver in terms of what they'll call the illicit market or the gray zone market or the black market, okay, are through the floor. They've done it. It's dropped so much that nobody really can feasibly make a living off of it anymore. And I very quickly years ago realized there's no real money in flower, oddly in this industry. It's just not feasible for the small farm to really be producing flower, at least in the climate where I'm at. You've got now pounds of triple to quads going for anywhere from 800 to if you're lucky, maybe $1,200. And that's just not really a feasible price for sustainability for anybody. And the funny thing is, though, is you take this weed, this supposed illicit weed or gray zone weed, it's actually better product, and it's also healthier for you than the crap that the government is trying to shovel to us. It's astonishing to me, frankly, but it is what it is. Support your local plug, support your local farmer, And remember, when you buy weed from the guy down the street who actually cares about what he's doing, or the woman up the street who cares about what she's doing, you're supporting your local community. You're supporting the people that got fucked out of their own industry. Plus, you're going to get a better deal. You're going to have a better time, and it's going to be enjoyable. It's the way to be. It's the way to go. Support your local plug. But anyway, let's see here. Mud swap, bugs, feces, pesticides, you name it. It was brickweed. Yeah, it's very true. Sideways 12 says $45 to $50 an eighth for good stuff in Cali plus 30% tax. Yeah, that Sideways 12, like that's crazy. These days, typically in the what I'm going to reference, I'm not going to even talk about legal weed. I mean, it's just too expensive and it's shitty. You go get a 3-pack of pre-rolls with some distillate and some keef on them. And those are going to cost you like $35 here in Vancouver. But then for $25, $25, you can go get an eighth of really good shit from your local plug. Hell, typically the average price of an ounce is $100 to $140 for the best weed in Vancouver. And what does that mean? The best weed in the world. I mean, not to say that there's not great weed everywhere else, but there's a reason BC Bud's known around the world. There's a reason why we have a reputation. We're still here. The people who produce that are still here. And it's ridiculous. Like, you can get, if you're buying in bulk here, like, I mean, I can get sometimes grams of DAPs for like, anywhere from $3 or $4 a gram to maybe 10 or 15 bucks a gram. Maybe on the higher end would be 20 for like live rosins and stuff. But even still, right? I mean, it's just so cheap here now. So anyway, move to Vancouver, everybody. Support your local plug. It's cheap. But it is what it is. I mean, I remember when I first started growing. I remember when I was first sort of introduced into the industry as a young teenager. And the prices back then were astronomically wonderful, at least for the person selling it. I mean, it wasn't great for the consumer per se. It was maybe a little high, but we were getting like $28 to $3,400 a pound. Those were the good old days when you could afford to feed your family being a simple farmer. But those days are gone. Those days have died with the way of the dinosaur. But that's where genetics is kind of where we've been focusing our energies, because there will always be a need for seed. There will always be a need for new genetics and development and that kind of a thing. So that's where my mind for our company's at, and that's what we're working on. There's just no real feasible way for us to depend on flower or the hopes of flower sales or production to really do anything that'll help us grow a company to be successful, right? That's just the nature of the beast. I think there is a way to have an industry that's inclusive, to have a price point on the retail end that's not astronomical, but at the same time making sure a fair price goes to the person producing it as well. I definitely believe that's possible, right? Like, everything's possible. We're in control of the actual economy of this. And if we stand together and work together, we can pull this off. I mean, and it is crazy. Like, it's sort of some of the people down in the States talking about the prices of things. I experienced that firsthand when I went down to Vegas recently. I went down to Vegas and the weed was shit. It was some of the worst weed I've ever smoked. But two, I went and bought like a distillate pen. Actually, funnily enough, I inadvertently accidentally brought it back to Canada with me, and it's sitting here. I bought this pen. It was supposed to be a gram of whatever the fuck it was. What was it? OG Kush distillate or some shit. They charged me $100 US for this stupid thing. Even here from the government store to get like probably like a half gram pen, but still, like, that's maybe $30, right? This was $100, ladies and gentlemen. It tasted like shit. It did not get me high at all. I hit this thing for hours and nothing happened. Absolutely nothing happened. I'm starting to think it's like Delta 8 maybe. Or fuck, they probably just sold me a thing with a bunch of hemp distillate in them. Like, let's not lie to ourselves. It didn't do anything. So it was a joke. I was not impressed. I hope they kissed me first. Yeah, I was hoping for that too, but turns out no. Nope, they just bent me over the sink. Then fuck me. The weed sucked. All the products sucked. It looked great and was horrible. That was the nature of the beast in Vegas. I mean, it is a desert, I guess. But regardless, that's the issue here, right? We can produce better weed in our closets at home than the supposed quote unquote professionals. And that's part of why we do this on this channel. We want you to be empowered. We want you to be able to grow and produce your own medicine, okay? So at the end of the day, everybody, remember, it's actually going to be a better experience for you to just produce your own medicine. And that's where we're getting back to the growth. We're getting back to the educational videos again, and getting hands-on with actually producing our own products here on the channel. And we're going to teach you all how to do that at home again. I mean, we have hundreds and hundreds of videos already out on the internet over the last over 7 years. You can check those out. Yes, some of them are a little shaky. Some of them are a little grainy. Some of them aren't perfect production levels. Well, we were never really worried about that. We try to do a slightly better job now in terms of our production quality, okay? But, I mean, at the end of the day, it's about the knowledge and the interaction and learning, right? So just remember, fuck the shops, fuck the government, grow your own. All right? That's all right. It's just the way to be. And then when you grow your own medicine, you at least know where it's coming from. You at least know what's being put into it because you did it. Jensen Dennis says it's all about what's hot and popular at the time, just like music, and then they run it into the ground. You know, and that's true. And one of the funny things is, Jansen, is simply put, most of these popular strains, most of these hip in, I hate to break it to you, they're not good. They don't taste good. They don't get you that high, right? Everyone's living in this world in the market of obsessions with THC levels. Oh, well, I only smoke something that's got at least 35% THC. Well, you're missing out on pretty much most weed then. The fact of the matter is, THC means fuck all. Yes, is it the main active cannabinoid ingredient? Yeah, sure. But there's tons of things going on there. There's 468 plus psychoactive chemicals and cannabinoids going on in this plant. There's a bunch of different things going on that create our experience, that create our high, that create the effects from hell, terpenes, different cannabinoids, blah, 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 flavonoids, etc., etc., etc. Like, I mean, it's astonishing to me that people obsess over a THC number when, like, there's a lot of strong weed out there that has a high THC level that literally does not get me high. Where I could take something like, for example, our Sasquatch strain that we developed on average was about 20 to 22% CBD and only 18% THC. It also was so terpene laden that I could only get the essential oils crushed out of that plant to set up with dry ice or CO or liquid nitrogen. Okay. That's how terpy these things were. And that shit fucked you up in a way that nothing else did. And anyone who ever tried it felt the same way. They would smoke it and they would go, what the fuck was that? And I'd be like, that was Sasquatch, baby. But again, it was only 18% THC and a 22% CBD, right? Like, I mean, it wasn't one of these super high numbered THC strains, but it got you way higher than a 30% strain or a 35% strain. The second we start getting to like the 35 percentage level, do you know how rare it is for any weed to have that much THC in it? It's not common. It's not real. Most of these are fabricated numbers, by the way, that you're buying, and that's printed on the little label. And like, I mean, it's just not true. It's not like we had some major breakthrough since legalization and we all figured out how to make weed way stronger. Well, one, we've been way stronger than it used to be in the 70s for a long time now. Okay. Secondly, these THC numbers don't matter. Okay. Like, yeah, be aware of it for sure. But like these young kids now, right? They're like, oh, well, that's only 20% THC. I'm not going to smoke that. I'm like, kid, you're missing out. You don't know what you're talking about. THC levels and high THC levels, one, don't mean shit typically. Two, more often than not, aren't actually real when you read it off the label. Okay. You can pay labs to have these numbers changed. There's no real honor and integrity to a lot of this legal system. You know, of course, it's not honor and integrity. I mean, it's the government. I mean, but at the end of the day, this is what we're talking about. Okay. So again, don't shut something down because tetrahydrocannabinol percentage levels aren't as high as you think. Give it a try. You might be surprised. Sasquatch only had 18% and it fucked you up more than anything. So, you know, that's it. The future is plants that are just THC crystal clusters that look like some alien quartz flora. Well, the funny thing is, though, okay, Sasquatch in and of itself, okay, was so frosty that you couldn't see the green. It was caked. Still only 18% active tetrahydrocannabinol. But like this shit was frostier than hell. It was one of the bag appeals of the Sasquatch plant. People will look at it and go, holy shit, what's that? The trikes are producing a lot more than just THC. They're producing a lot of wonderful things in there. And it's a different cocktail every single time, everybody. And so that's part of the fun. You got to remember when it comes to weed, there's so much going on there. It's kind of like if you wanted to paint a painting and you go and you buy a paint kit with 468 paint colors and you choose to only care about one color. It's a fucking awfully boring painting. And that is just the truth. One sec, everybody. I really fucking need coffee. So I'm just gonna go re-hit the my kettle here and pour some hot water onto these coffee grounds. 1 second, everybody. There we go. Just gotta wait till that. Just shut down a little bit so I can see the kettle when it boiled. There we go. Hey, what's up, Kenneth R. Knox? Good to see you, my friend. Welcome. Hooley says they had Thai back in the 60s. We just figured out how to breed for the effect, respectively. Oh, yeah. Like, I mean, and at the end of the day, like, don't think I'm knocking all of the wonderful new developments of the last 40 or so years. I mean, let's be fair. Weed has come a long way since the 70s and the 60s. We're living in this crazy cool world. But a lot of these popular new strains have, in my mind, lost something. They're not really this excitable thing that's really so good. You know what I mean? Like, the funny thing to me is like, people are raging about these new things. Well, one of those strains actually that came out, and this is before this time period we're living in now. So this is still going back a ways. I remember when Girl Scout cookies first came out, and everybody's losing their shit about fucking Girl Scout cookies. I was excited at first because everyone seems to be excited about this. So I was like, oh man, well, like I guess I'm gonna try something really good. Really wasn't that good. I mean, there was great flower uniformity. I definitely dug that. I definitely loved the bud structure. So like there was notes and parts to it that I loved, but it was underwhelming. The flavor wasn't there. The smell wasn't really there. It wasn't really that good. Didn't have a great high. I'm sitting here going, looking at all these other stoners around me. Why the fuck are you all so excited? It's not very good. It's just sort of like when you go out to dinner and you have a meal. It's not bad. It's not great. Maybe even a little underwhelming. And really all you got out of the meal was, yes, you fed yourself. I've had some sustenance, but that's it. That's all that's really gone on here. And I feel that way about a lot of the new strains, quite frankly. It just is what it is. What's happening, 420 Zone? Good to see you, my friend. 1 second here. I'm just reading. Walter Wiseman, would I ever make edibles like butter gummies? Well, I do make edibles. I'm not a big fan of making gummies personally. I typically, in the past, when I made stuff, I made hard rock candies, and that's what I would enjoy. It was a lozenge. It was sublingually absorbed through the soft tissues of my mouth. I loved that. If it wasn't for the sugar levels in making hard, old-fashioned rock candy, I'd still be eating them all the damn time. Sideways 12, GSC plus variants of it is still the favorite staple of people here in LA. Well, LA, I've got a secret for you. You don't know your ass from the hole in the ground then. And no offense, I love you. But come on, there's so much more out there that you could be enjoying than some Girl Scout cookies. Girl Scout cookies is a fucking joke. It's not that great of a strain. It's just a nice, medium, normal strain. It's like a Toyota Tercel. It'll run, it'll do the job, but it's not fancy. It's not that cool. It's not that anything. It's not very good. Miss K's Garden says, I heard cookies has herm tendencies. It didn't used to. When Girl Scout cookies first came out, it did not have herming issues. but everything has herming issues now because nobody breeds anything properly anymore, and everything's come so intermixed with each other and improperly grown, and then you've got feminization left, right, and center, and then that compounds with other shit, and so of course it does now. Most of these modern strains, everyone, that are coming from most breeders have horrible hermaphroditic properties, and that is just the nature, okay, the nature of how we've been doing things wrong. And this is why the importance of proper breeding, paying attention, regular beans, genetic lines that keep integrity, not getting all fucked up and rearranged all the time by all this other crap and improper breeding practices. Okay, that's my concept there. I'll be right back. I need to pour the boiling water on my coffee grounds. I'll be right back. Talk amongst yourselves for a minute. I'll be right back. I swear I'll be right back. There we go. And the coffee is now steeping. Wonderful. Yeah, no, totally. Well, see, you got to remember, right? So GSC when it first came out didn't really herm horribly, but it's all intermixed now. It's all convoluted. I can guarantee you that most modern genetics from most modern sources will have hermaphroditic tendencies. And here's a funny true fact. So when I was younger, when I first started growing, okay, herming was rare. It didn't happen that often. Like it just wasn't a thing. It existed. It happened sometimes, right? It's a natural built-in self-defense mechanism of Mother Nature. But you used to have to fuck up a plant pretty hard to get it to herm, right? Like you had to really fuck around to get any plant to herm for the most part. And now pretty much everything herms in my humble 2 cents. Like a lot of these new weird genetics just herm. You fart on them wrong. You look at them wrong and they fucking herm. Plus, like flower structure's gone out the window. When I was a kid, right, we would have beautifully formed buds, dense, beautiful formation of flowers. Okay. And now, even if you look at High Times or other places, like all it is just these weird fox-tailing, weird looking buds. We've lost yield. We've lost the bag appeal and the structure of the plant. Okay. All on this mission to search out high THC levels, which really don't really matter. And we're losing something, and everything fucking herms. So really at the end of the day, we need to try to bring things back. That's what we're doing. There's a lot of people in Canada of the same mind. There's a lot of people around the world. Gazzers feels the same way. There's a bunch of other guys in New Zealand that feel the same way. I know there's a lot of guys over in the UK that feel the same way. It is what it is. Dense weed with no flavor. I don't know what world you grew up in, Mudswat. Like the weed I'm remembering, that had flavor. Weed now doesn't have flavor. All these new strains, more often than not, don't have a lot of flavor, I find. I think we've lost a lot of the wonderful flavors and scents of cannabis. Currently. Oh, yeah. Then we're saying the same thing then, Mudswat. Sorry. I thought you were talking about the past. Like, what? What do you mean? That's now. Hooli says, banana is a fantastic trip. I love that variety. The Kush was always to me like the future. It was so good. Then the GSC thing took over, and it was also stupid in the industry. I don't disagree with you, Hooli. Banana Kush is still around. Banana still exists. I even might have one variant of a banana something in my collection. Maybe I don't. I'd have to go through and check. Yeah, right. Well, and that's why, for example, everybody, like the reason why on the channel over the years, like I've done extreme stress tests on anything I do. I kind of beat the fuck out of my seedlings a little bit. I stress them out. There's actually method behind the madness. Those who can survive that and do well, those who can survive that and be proficient and do what I want, okay, then I know what they are. I know that they're strong. I know that they're worth me wasting or not wasting, I should say, my time and effort and money, right? Newts are expensive if you're a bottle newt feeder. Power is expensive if you're an indoor grower. Dirt is expensive. All of these things are expensive, right? So if we're going to waste our money and time, why would we? So that's where one, buying genetics from reputable people that are trying really hard to make something stable and safe for you. I'm one of them. There's quite a few of us out there. Okay, I'm not going to say I'm the only one. There's a lot of really good people out there. A lot of fucking idiots too. A lot of pollen chuckers. But there's a lot of really good people doing things right. Okay. But at the end of the day, we want to be able to trust what we're growing at home. We want to be able to know that we are putting our love, our time, our money, and our energy into something that's worthwhile, right? I'm sure some of you at home who've been growing for a while, have you ever grown a genetic, right? And you put all this time, love, and effort into it, and then it finished up and it just wasn't that good. Often, that isn't necessarily that you did something wrong. It's just the genetic. It just isn't very good, right? I mean, and just to circle back around to GSC, I mean, that's how I felt the first time I met Girl Scout cookies, and that's how I felt about Girl Scout cookies anytime I've met it since. What's the point? This is boring. I'm just gonna go home. Like, you know what I mean? It's just, it's just my humble 2 cents on it. But I mean, it is a very realistic perspective in my mind. When you are someone like myself who's grown up in a place surrounded by a plethora of different weeds, and getting to really firsthand see some of the best weed in the world and seeing the nuanced differences, right? I mean, the world of Kush alone is such a diverse subsect of the indica species, let alone anything else. I mean, it's just crazy. It's so crazy. And then we all get obsessed about these shitty strains that aren't that good. I just don't get it personally, but it is what it is. What's up, WB Growers? Good to see you, my friend. And then what's up, Saul Stanley? If there's anyone I've missed saying hi to, by the way, hello, good to see you. Thank you for tuning us in the morning on this weird 10 o'clock show because I have to go to work in a little bit, and I'm just trying to make sure I get a live stream in for everyone so they don't miss out. See, I'm sticking to it, even if we got to change the time sometimes. We're trying to stick to keeping the live stream going. The next step is for us to get the damn grow going again. What's up, Alvin Mace? Alvin, you keep calling me at the wrong times. And I'm sorry I've missed your call a few times over the last couple of days. Mornings, I'm usually quite busy before work, brother. So I apologize that I missed a couple of your calls there, bud. But it's good to see you, bro. Welcome to the show. I hope you're doing well. Well, there you go, Miss K's Garden, right? And that's the thing, too. We got to remember that as well, right? There is no definitive best in the world of weed. We all have different tastes, right? If everybody loved pepperoni pizza, then we would only ever have pepperoni pizza at a pizza store. We all have different tastes. We all have different medical needs, too. Different strains do different things, and they do different things for different people. I mean, you can have one strain that is, it treats pain, treats insomnia, or it treats depression, blah, 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 and it works for one person. And it is the perfect strain, let's say, for them in their medical needs of what they're searching for. That does not mean that that same strain now automatically does that. It may do the complete opposite for someone else, right? So that's one thing I've never really liked, was, you go into the weed store and they're like, well, this one's good for insomnia. This one's good for depression. This one's for menstrual cramps. And I'm like, you are an ignoramus, because that's literally not how it works. It's not the reality of the thing. You could say this has been prevalent, this has been commonly accepted, many people have experienced it this way, but that doesn't mean that that's what it just automatically does. Any weed person who's going to talk that way about a strain and say that to you really is, they're just blowing smoke. And if they truly believe what they're shoveling, then they're stupid. Like, come on now, that's just not the reality of weed. Okay, for example, here's a very basic example of this. Okay, so for me, right, I find sats classically cause me anxiety, right? My brain already moves fast enough. I don't need any help in that department. My brain's going 1,000 miles a minute at all times of the day. And I find that as sort of an anxiety invoking experience. Okay, indica, classically, I don't have quite that same amount of experience with it, right? Where some people, though, if they smoke an indica, that sort of that heavy hitting, they're like, whoa, man, that causes them anxiety, right? So that that day smoke, they find light and fluffy and easy going. And that for them is great. And I say, power to you. It's not my cup of tea. It's not what I want to be putting in my pipe and smoking, but that's okay. That's why we all have our own tastes. That's why there's Hawaiian pizza and barbecue chicken pizza and meat lovers pizza and all these other types of pizzas. Yes, I'm comparing weed to pizza right now. I think it's just because I haven't had breakfast and I'm hungry now. But it's just the reality of it. Okay, so just get to know your weed, get to know the realities of truth, and that is different strains won't always do the same thing for everybody else. Cannabis pizza, I've made cannabis pizza. I made an infused sauce. I also made infused olive oils that I used to make them dressing for it. It was really good. Actually, we made a bunch of infused food. I don't think we ever made infused pizza on the show, but we definitely made a few infused things. We made like 4 or 5 videos of what I was calling Potswatch's Cannabis Kitchen. I can't even remember what most of them were. One was like a burger infused 5 ways. I know we did that. That thing was fun. It got me decently high, that one. But then, Uncle Michael, the gooba, he ate half of that thing, and he was high for 3 days. I felt bad. He's not used to eating weed the way I am, I guess. But Daleski OG, do you even grow anymore, bro? No joke. Well, yeah, I'm about to start growing soon. I'm just trying to deal with all the crap in my house. It's kind of hard when you have to have your life fall apart. Then you got to fight to kind of try to put it back together again. But yes, we will have Cross again going for you soon. What's up, Minneapolis, Mike? 612. Good to see you. Oh shit! I was supposed to contact about that issue you were having. I haven't forgotten. It just popped in my memory. I will sleuth that one out for you. I believe it was you who sent me that email. We don't need to get into it now, but we will talk soon, and I will try to help you diagnose that issue. I'm pretty sure there's a short happening somewhere in the driver itself, or one of the wires feeding to that one specific board. But we could talk later about that. I've been thinking about it, mulling it over. 1001 and sundry items going on, but yeah. Kenneth R. Knox, yo, love you, bro. Hey, I love you too, man. Got to go mow the grass. Mow that grass. I can hear other people in the background right now outside mowing grass. They are with you. Mow that grass. Yeah, but don't worry, Minneapolis, Mike. We'll figure that out. Because I had a couple of questions that I couldn't remember, and I don't think they were addressed in what you were describing what was going on. So I do have a question for you, but shoot me an email today, or maybe at some point, maybe tomorrow. We can have a quick phone call and we can try to talk about that. Mudswat says, so let me ask you this at Potswat. What strains do you like? Just name a handful of modern strains you recommend. Well, if by modern you mean like not the 60s, I mean, I don't like a lot of the new strains, so I won't even really say any of them. Classics for me have always been any forms of Hindu Kush. I love Master Kush. I love Purple Kush. Like a good Purple Kush, which is almost impossible to find these days. That was always enjoyable. Bubblegum Indica, Blueberry Indica by DDJ Short. Fucking love that shit. Hell, even Blueberry Yum Yum, Blueberry Muffin. Those things were good. I had this one cross I did once between a Master Kush and a Northern Lights number 5. That was a wonderful marrying of two worlds. One of my favorite strains is, we always called it Chush, and I've never had a seed of it. I've never been able to grow it. I've never been able to really figure out what went into it. There was these Chinese dudes here years ago that we used to get weed from, right? And they only grew one strain. There seemed to be a few different phenos of it that they were working with, but it was always kind of the same. We didn't know what to call it because we'd just be like, well, what strain is it? They'd be like, it's Kush. That's all they would say. They didn't speak a lot of English either. So we just called it Chush. They were Chinese. They grew this stuff exclusively. So we just called it Chush. But it had this wonderful, wonderful spiciness to it. It was just so divine and weird and fun and wonderful. And it was great. Walter Wiseman, do you use or do you recommend solar panels for growing? I am 100% on board with producing your own power. So do I recommend, if you have the money and the ability to set up a solar powered system? Yes. Have a very large bank, though. You need to have a big battery bank, because at the end of the day, you don't always produce what you need with solar. I mean, if I were designing an off-grid system for myself to use, I'm going to have solar. I'm going to have maybe if I've got a little stream, I'll do some hydroelectric there. I'm gonna have wind power, okay, but then also to having a generator for a backup to feed into that system, into your bank, so you can make sure you always have the power you need, is the best way to go as well. If you can get a generator that you can either rebuild or buy one that'll run like a bioethyl alcohol, then you can take all your leftovers, right? You can just make some hooch and then run the hooch off that stuff. You know what I'm saying? One second here. I'm just reading everybody. Oh, hell yeah. Well, thank you, Peter. Oh, yeah. By the way, everybody, if you're all wondering, though, what's up, Tone G? Good to see you, my friend. Hello, hello, hello. If you're wondering where the store is at on the internet, everybody, typing. 1 second. And the one thing I will say too is we still do own podsquatchgrowers.com as a domain. I don't know if we've set it up yet. Eventually, I'm going to set it up so when you go to podsquatchgrowers.com, it's just going to go to podsquatchsales.com. Our first website was podsquatchgrowers.com. How we got the Podsquatch Sales domain is when we first launched the CBD stuff. Our business partners set up a domain, but the guy they hired to do it kind of shit the bed. They actually ended up firing that guy anyway. But then we just said, hey, we'll take it over. We'll build our own website. And it took us 2 years almost, but we did it. We're back. It's open. Check it out. Podsquatchsales.com, everybody. Hats, t-shirts, grinders, the CBD tinctures are genetics. You can buy beard oil too. We've got a beautiful CBD beard oil line. It's great. Squatch Stank and cedarwood and whiskey. Hey, good to see you too, Tone G. Everybody, I gotta make a coffee. 1 second here. I'll be right back. Talk amongst yourselves. I'm just making a cup of coffee. I'll be right back. One second, I'm almost done. I'm almost done. I'll be right there. And I'm back. There we go. Yeah, no, it was funny. So everybody, it was Jansen's wife who was trying to like surprise him and stuff, right? And so recently we put a package together and sent it out there. And yeah, I still haven't received a picture of you wearing the hat or the shirt there, Jansen. You got to send that. I like seeing everybody rocking their Squatch swag. Makes me smile. No, I feel you, Dale Skoji, and I miss the wheat chitties too, bro. We're gonna get grows going again. It's just again, the big thing for me is just getting that storage locker so I can free up some space in here and actually have enough room to work around and set shit up. Hey, what's up, Wake Now? Good to see you, my friend, and welcome to the show. I hope work's going well for you. Oh, no worries, DLC OG. I want to get back to doing it. I want to get back to growing. I'm actually quite excited about it. and for me, the one thing is given the huge limited space we have, or the huge amount or lack of amount, you know what I'm trying to say. The fact that we don't have a lot of room, I think, is going to be fun for me. Frustrating at times, but it will be interesting because it'll force me to be creative, everybody. It's going to force me to somehow make it work while trying to do grows for all of you, while producing my own medicine, while at the same time producing genetics, and all doing that in a small controlled space. I mean, it'll be interesting. That is true, everybody. I was shocked, though. I didn't think it would get there that fast. Ganjanata Your Mama's package actually got to the UK in like 2 or 3 days. It was ridiculous. I don't know how that happened. And then my package that went down to Texas there for Mikey, Texas Squatch. He's not here. He's probably asleep, so he won't get mad. It got there in record time too. It was like 1 or 2 days, like 2 days. It was insane. I don't know how this happened. I tried to send a package to a province over, and it takes like fucking a week. But I can get shit to the UK really fast, everybody. So Sideways 12, she can have some stretch to her. The Alien Rift is a short squat plant that doesn't have a huge amount of stretch. But that Orange Hindu did have a considerable amount of stretch. I went with, on the Orange Hindu that we picked for that one for the mother, was the shortest, squattest, less stretchy one of them all. The one that had the most classical indica structural variations. Okay. But prepare yourself that she could have some decent stretch. You will see probably some that stretch quite a bit, and some that'll stay on the shorter squatter side. And again, like, I'm going to keep working on stabilizing that strain over years to come. And I'm a big believer, like, when you see a bunch of fun different sort of phenols within an initial cross that you make, I kind of want to work them out a few different ways. So I'd love to kind of have a short squat variety one, and then one that's, maybe the basketball player one. It's kind of fun, My beads must have been at the Amazon warehouse. No, they wouldn't let me have an Amazon account. Oh, Jason A., to answer your question, have a great day too. But yes, we're doing an early show today, Jason, because I got to work this afternoon. I shifted my days off because Katie's going into surgery, and I've told her I will take her to the hospital, pick her up, and take care of her once she's done having her surgery. Totally, right? I mean, Wake Now, and that's where it's fun. Like, every grow is different. And that's where, when you find a pheno you like, keep a cutting, make a mother out of it. Get to know that plant intimately, because the more times you run something, you really get to know it intimately. And that's sort of like a wonderful ease of grow in certain senses when you go that approach with your genetics and with your grows. But at the same time, you got to fuck around, have fun, be adaptable, right? So if something weird happens, that's okay. That's part of what we learn from. If every grow was the same every goddamn time, I would get awfully bored awfully quickly. I think that's why I love growing weeds so much, is that there is such a difference. There is such a kind of this weird plethora of hypothetical options that are going to happen. And then, so for me as the grower, I've got to be adaptable. I've got to dance with it a different way. It's fun. Excuse me. Well, thank you, everyone. I will pass on to Katie your well wishes for her surgery and the building of her new asshole. She has Crohn's, so she's having surgery in terms of her Crohn's. This is the third time they've tried to fix everything, so here's hoping it works out for her this time. Exactly. Wake Now. Exactly. Mudswat, can you see if podsquatchgrowers.com is going to Podsquatch Sales? Because it is podsquatchsales.com, unless we have fixed that, and Podsquatch Growers is going to podsquatchsales.com now. I don't know if we've done that yet. We may have done that. I don't know. That's my computer person's job. All right, so I guess we did do that. So podsquatchgrowers.com goes to podsquatchsales.com. There we go. Well, that's good. um, yeah, so okay, so Jansen Dennis, in terms of how do we get things to trike out? Well, one, the biggest point of trikeability, okay, as I like to call it, will be your genetics. So starting with a good genetic, obviously that's known for being frosty. If that's something that's important to you, I get it. I mean, I love making hash. So the frostier it is, the more hash and better hash I'm going to get. One of my favorite things, okay, is probably what I'd have to say the micro agitation technique that I've always called it, which is where you'll go through your stems and you'll start pricking the plant with a little pin. Okay, so what we're doing is we're just piercing the exterior part of the skin of those branches. Okay, just like this. And what we're doing is we're triggering the plant to think it's under attack. We're not actually really causing harm to the plant, okay? What we are doing, though, is we're trying to activate the plant's self-defense mechanisms. What does it do with that self-defense mechanism? Well, it's going to produce more trikes. It's going to produce more cannabinoids, more resins, more active essential oils within its own tissues as a way of defending itself. Because THC, all those other active cannabinoids, like all of these things predominantly are being produced as a self-defense mechanism. Okay, the sticky resins also help for pollen to stick when it's trying to, get knocked up, right? So, but we got to think about logically, right, about what the plant's doing. Why does the plant do what the plant does? So, microagitation arguably would be my favorite way of approaching it, because that is going to be something that we can do. We can start doing that actually. I wouldn't do it at transition. I'd wait till 2 or 3 weeks into into your flowering period, okay, and then start utilizing that. How do I feel about super cropping in the middle of flower for autos? I have mixed feelings when it comes to an auto in general, but like you got to remember, there's only so much we can get away with an auto. I mean, we can get away with more now than we used to be able to. They've come a long way in terms of how they are. Once it starts to flower, you've got a very limited window, okay, until it's done. Also, it's focusing even less energy and flower on healing its branches, okay, typically than a traditional photoperiod plant would be. So what I would say is I'd be wary of it. If I'm going to fuck around with an auto, I'm probably going to want to do it on the earlier side of flower if I am. I wouldn't do it too much in the middle of flower. I would go more low stress training, bind her out like a bondage BDSM porno, as it were. Bind her out, lift her up, do those types of things. I would say you're going to be more advantageous with doing that than going for the full super crop, or as I call it, knuckling, where you're full out snap and shit and all that, right? So I would recommend more of a low stress approach than a high stress approach. Hey, what's up, Marley One? Thank you very much. Yes, I know. I moved back to the big city after my life fell apart and the woman I thought I was marrying betrayed me, and I had to be pretty to make it in the big city. So here we are. That's because Minneapolis, Mike, we don't have an automatic confirmation email thing set up. I am pulling up the store right now, though. Here. Yesterday, I was up very, very early because I had to get the Cadillac towed to the Cadillac dealership to try to fix the catastrophic electrical meltdown it had before I put it on its new rims and tires and install an $8,000 stereo system. I'm pulling it open right now. Bear with me. I just need to pull up my secondary authenticator app. And there we go. Lots of security in our site. Oh, I'm in. And all right. So Minneapolis Mike, it is currently not showing here, which means we do have it. It's we've been having an ongoing coding thing where basically what happens is our stupid store sometimes doesn't update on the back end, like the part that I'm going to look at orders, it doesn't update it, which has been, it's just a coding thing. So my computer guy has been trying to tweak it so it does auto do it, so I have access to it right away. Minneapolis Mike, what I'm going to do is the second the show's over, I'm going to call my computer guy and I'm be like, yo, bro, it happened again. And he's going to be like, what? I'm going to be like, bro, it happened again. He's going to be like, fuck, I thought I fixed it. It's okay. It's one of those things when you're building a website yourself, you know, we did Shopify. It was great. Shopify let us do things until they decided to not let us do things. And then they're all like, go fuck yourself. And so we had to literally build everything ourselves. We've even built our own payment portal. We've done it all. So long story short, I guarantee you it's there. But my stupid website's being stupid again. So I will get on the phone. Minneapolis Mike, I will send you an email of confirmation once I've done that. The second I'm done doing that, it should only take my computer person a few minutes to get me that and update that. It has been an ongoing stupid thing where our website's just being dumb. It has to do with, and again, I'm not the computer person. I know just enough to get confused by things, but basically different parts of what we've built into the website speak slightly different languages, which is fine. But then having that, what I'm going to talk about is like an adapter bridge in terms of the two languages of these parts. So it's like the order comes in and it's here in this part of the brain of the store. Store receives everything, has all the information. But it's this bridge that then goes to my user interface, which is like the back end where I'm going in through my back end, right, to then pull up this information. And it's getting like kind of stuck in the translation, shall we say. I hope that makes sense. I mean, my computer guy, if he's watching, he's probably like, oh, fuck. God, he's a dumbass when he tries to describe computer shit. But anyway, I mean, it's true. I mean, I do my best. But sorry to hear about that. No, you know, thank you, Marley One. I mean, but this shit happens. I mean, at the end of the day, it is what it is. I mean, you know, at the end of the day, everybody, I feel like I'm on the right track again. I feel more like myself. You know, I was kind of losing myself when I was living in Hope. I wasn't really happy. I don't think that the relationship necessarily was the cause of that. I just, you know, I didn't really want to live in Hope. You know, it was great to own a house. It was great to have more space. But leaving Vancouver, leaving the city was the biggest mistake I ever made. I'm a city boy, bitch. I'll admit that. I like the city. I like living in the city. I like being surrounded by the concrete jungle. I like the fact that I can walk and have everything down the street. I like that there's tons of people here. I also enjoy the fact that, you know, like in Hope, half the town was really, really not politically the way I think. So, I mean, there was a lot of very radicalized, deep right people there, you know, and so we didn't get along. It was not good for my mental health being there. I'm feeling much more myself here, being back in the city, to be fair. I'm feeling good. I'm feeling excited, and I'm excited about all this shit. Well, thank you, Peter Rutherford. As a computer guy, that's the best description a non-computer guy can make. Thank you very much, Peter. I did my darndest. I mean, I took a bit of coding in school when I was a kid, but like very basic HTML shit. Like I know a little bit. That's it. And that's literally all I know. But I did my darndest to try to describe what was happening. Yeah, wait, no, I was up in Hope there. Like, I mean, and I loved certain things of Hope. Like, I mean, there was a lot of good people there too. Don't get me wrong. But just being back in the city, it's just better. You know what I mean? There wasn't a lot of work options in Hope either, right? Like when you live in a small town, everybody knows your fucking business. Everyone's all up your asshole, and I didn't like that. And there was very limited work options out there because right now, you know, I still need a day job. I'm hoping to get, you know, between my acting career and the Pont Squatch thing, hopefully one day we'll be to a place where all I have to do is focus on making movies and being the Pont Squatch for all of you at home. We're working on that. That's where I'm working towards for, you know, life goals, right? But for now, I need the day job, and that's where being in the city has been better for me too, right? Like there's just so many options for me to work in the service industry of hospitality. I'm a bartender, I'm a manager, you know, that's what I do. And I'm the nighttime or the head bartender and nighttime manager at the University Golf Club. It's been going really well. I've even got fucking benefits now, and I'm making my money. I'm paying my bills. I'm debt free finally. I've gotten rid of all my debt, and we're rebuilding again, building it all up, and I'm excited to kind of get things going. I mean, the fact is I am now really back to me being me, and so for me to be me will help me to make genuine content and genuine grows and all that kind of shit. Patrick says, "Hey man, I just looked at YouTube and you're on. I'm so glad I didn't go outside. Party on, dude. Yeah, party on to you too, man." Oh, I feel you, Sideways 12. And I mean, I could see myself one day, if I could afford it, having a place outside of the city that I go to occasionally. But I'm a go kind of guy, you know, and I gotta be in here, man, and just be doing my thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, I like the city, I like the hustle and bustle, I like the chaos, you know, and yeah, it's good for me. It fits for me. It helps me stay on task doing what I need to do. So you know, it is what it is. Like for example, you know, we've got the store open again. We've got the genetics launch. We're gearing up to start doing grows again and educational things again. We're sending out orders. I've got a job that's going well. I'm involved in a feature film. We're going to be shooting in Costa Rica next year. It's looking like not only will I be acting in this film, I'm going to be on the crew as well and be getting a producer credit as well. So it's like I've got things going on. I'm back to kind of doing what I'm doing and what I'm having fun with. And I'm kind of excited just to fucking be me again and not give a fuck and just go for it. Swing my dick at the world and swing my dick at my dreams. That's right. My weird broken dick after it almost tried to kill me. But that's okay. We're rebuilding that one in November. We'll fix the Cadillac this month, and in November, we're going to fix the dick. First, I had to fix my soul and my heart and my mind. Then I have to fix the Cadillac, and now I'm fixing my dick after that. It's, you know, important things, right? You know, the important things. Well, exactly. I mean, Sideways 12, at the end of the day, if we're ever going to release anything, I've always been of the mindset, like, if I'm going to release something, it's going to fucking work. It's going to be good. You know what I mean? We live in a day and age that more and more now, most of the crap you see on the internet doesn't actually do what they say. Online commerce, stores are dying, right? People buy everything. All of that. The caddy with the speakers is the soul. I don't know what you're talking about. So Peter Rutherford. Okay, so my Cadillac that I love, it sat for years. Okay, I got all the vehicles back. I'm selling my Volvo XC90 SUV. Because I don't have an emotional connection to that car. I have an emotional connection to the Cadillac. So I'm fixing the Cadillac. Okay, but in the Cadillac, it had a cataclysmic electrical malfunction recently. But I'm putting in an $8,000 stereo system. Brand new 20-inch rims, new tires, redoing it, pimping the Cadillac, making it my main whip, making it the Pot Squatch mobile that it was always meant to be. That is part of me reclaiming who I was or who I was trying to be or wanting to be when my life was falling apart with my ex-partner. The fixing of the heart and soul. Well, like the woman I was marrying betrayed me, got me arrested, lied to the police, cost me $35,000 to prove I was innocent and that it was all lies. Okay. So that was the thing. That was hard for me. That one took me over a year to fucking really get over. And I'm still scarred and traumatized by it. Like, I'll admit that. I'm still struggling with that. But I mean, it's just part of being an adult. It's part of life. Shit happens. People turn out sometimes to not be who you think they are. And then my dick tried to kill me. I was in the hospital for 2 weeks. I got hit by a streptococcal bacteria infection that caused my scrotum to swell up the size of a watermelon, and my dick swelled up 12 inches around and started turning black. And I was literally hours away from death when I went back to the hospital the second time. And if I'd gone 6 hours later, I would have been dead. That's just a true story, and that's been part of my life. So I'm going to require some reconstructive surgery, but we'll fix the Cadillac first. The dick can wait. Oh, man. No, I feel you. Wake now. Well, I've only got one nut left after having a tumor, right? So, but aging as men, we do get lower testosterone. I've actually been using a natural product. I did a lot of research for months because I didn't want to go on synthetic tests if I didn't have to. I've been taking Viral X, the real Viral X. Don't buy it on Amazon. That shit's fake. You got to buy it from Integrity. I think it's called Integrity Biolabs or Dynamic Biolabs. I've got a bottle of it in there. I'll tell everyone later. But I have been taking it for a month and a half now. My test levels have gone way back up. My beard's getting thicker. My energy levels are better. Everything's better. Viral X is legitimate. There are natural products that we as men can take to increase or naturally increase our testosterone. Viral X actually was eventually developed or was originally developed in Russia, funnily enough, for old Russian alcoholics. And so, yeah, at the end of the day, try Viral X. It worked for me. It can work for you. Actually, 1 second here. I can grab a bottle of it and show it to you, everybody. Just for those out there, because low test is a very real medical thing. Uh-oh, there goes the screen. Viral X is a real thing. Let me fix the screen quickly, everybody. Oh, fuck. There we go. There we go. Bear with me here. Good enough. And I'll knock it over again, probably. There we go. Fuck. All right, so this is Viral X, everybody. It's from Dignity Biolabs. They are down in the States. They come from, can't remember where in the States, but San Diego, California. You can only buy this directly from them. It is not available in stores. It is not available on other websites. You have to go to their website to buy it. I actually bought the fake shit first. I bought it off of bloody Amazon, and the shit was like a Chinese knockoff of the crap, and it made me really sick. I started getting really bad skin reactions. So don't buy it there. You can only buy it directly from them. I did a lot of research. I went through like 100 different products. This was the product that came out on top from all my research. So I figured I'd give it a whack. And boy, does it work though. It's a thing. Viral X is really good. So if you are experiencing the symptomologies from age or whether it was drinking, it doesn't matter. Like our test naturally drops as we age. It's just it's a function of our life as men. But try taking Viral X. It will help, my friends. I mean, it's legit. Check it out, man. 1 second here, everybody. I'm just reading everyone's stuff. To all of you who are living that sober lifestyle, big shout out to you and congratulations. I myself choose to still drink. I just don't drink like I used to. That was a big thing that I had to get under control as well. You might be shocked to find out when I had my life fall apart when I first came to town, I was drinking a little bit too much. But it was a way for me to get through the initial trauma. And then I figured it out after that. Right. So whether you have to quit drinking altogether or you have to really have a frank conversation with yourself and adjust your habits, I support both choices. Whatever works for you works for you. But power to you. Long story short, though, men out there, try Viral X. It's legit. It's fucking legit. I like this shit. I take it every morning. It's a dietary supplement. It's got a bunch of different plant-based things in it, but it works. I take 2 every morning, and it has actually been changing things for me. So Dale Ski OG, you could totally super crop a photo during flower. I do that shit all the time. If you look at the last grow we did at the house before my life fell apart, those orange Hindus, right? They were getting huge. So I actually straight up just full out snapped those stalks over and did this kind of cool thing. I actually could show you probably a picture of that. Here, it's on the Instagram. Bear with me here. Just got to pull it up on the Instagram here, everybody. I think I have one specific picture that is a great example of what I'm talking about. Where is it though? Ah, here we go. So if you see in this picture here, these colas here, right? Those are actually have been snapped over, and I trained them out and up like this, right? So the whole plant was going up like this. So I snapped everything down like this and trained it so where the buds went up like this. I've done even more extreme versions of that. So yes, you could totally do that. I did that probably at about 4 weeks, maybe 4 or 5 weeks of flower. I did that. No, right, Huli? Like, and I mean, and at the end of the day, we will going forward. Like, I mean, probably I'm trying to think of when the next time we'll probably do that. For the Christmas season, we'll do a sale. We'll do sale. We're gonna be doing a mixer pack too, which will be sort of an easier way to get a bunch of the different genetics to play with. Maybe we'll even release a smaller version of that, so it's less beans but a little bit of everything. So we'll have like the big mixer pack and then maybe a smaller mixer pack that's a little bit more affordable and a little bit on the cheaper side to make it easier for people to get in. We're all about inclusion here and empowering people. That's literally one of the names of the game in terms of what we're trying to do here at Pod Squatch Growers. So we'll go for that and we'll do our darnest. And we will do a sale there, Huli, too, come Christmas time. Okay, 1 second here. I'm just reading everyone's shit here. No, I feel you, Daleski OG. Like, I mean, the shops here are like ridiculous. Like, this was funny. I went in. This is a while back now, but I went into a legal shop because I was out having some beers and hanging out with Katie, and I was like, well, let's grab, I was like, I'm gonna grab some gummies, I'll grab some pre-rolls, I'll grab some of this, I'll grab some of that, and we'll just try it out. It was like fucking $280. I got like what, like 10 joints or like 12 joints and a few packs of gummies. And I'm like, how the fuck did that just cost me that much bloody money? The legal world is ridiculous what they charge for things. Okay, let's do a recap of everything we've covered. This week, we're going to be making that review video of the Bubble Bag Dudes, or Bubble Hash Dude, man, whatever the hell he calls himself. We met him at the Lift Expo this year. Basically, arguably one of the main proponents to inventing modern day dabs. We are going to review that machine this week. We're going to try to get that all shot, done, and up on the internet or the interwebs for you to see. We will this week get the mixer pack on the store. Maybe we can launch the big mixer and the small mixer all at the same time. That'd be cool. So there'll be like kind of the big version and the smaller version of that. The big version will have like 10 beans of each one. The smaller one, maybe we'll do it like 5 packs, maybe, or maybe if we want to make it really affordable, no, I don't want to do anything less than 5 though. 5 beans is enough to fuck around with. I think 3 is just not enough. I mean, I used to buy packs of beans and they'd only stick $70 or $80 for 3 beans. I mean, it's just stupid. It's daylight robbery. We'll figure something out for that. We're going to get the K-Town Kush up on the store as well. So that'll be a thing. We're going to get that going. Please like, subscribe, tell your friends. We've actually had exponential huge growth rates recently. So I really appreciate all of you who are tuning in, who are new to the show and new to the channel. It helps us fight the fight against YouTube to be seen, to be heard, to be here, and be valid. We will be releasing new products for winter coming up. That will be a couple months out still, but we're going to try to get this year finally get some toques, or as Americans call beanies. We're going to even try to bring in hoodies as well. So we're going to expand the clothing line. We're going to be making the how-to videos, making the review videos, making the grow videos again. In the next week or two, I'm hoping to have all of that running. I just need to get a bunch of this shit out of the damn house into a storage locker, and we're going to be going from there. But get ready for a new ride and get ready for a good time, motherfuckers. It's going to be a good time, I tell you. We're going to have a lot of fun. We're going to get weird. We're going to get strange. We're going to grow some weed. We're going to all grow weed together and have a good time, okay? Check out PodSquatchSales.com. Even just checking it out, telling your friends, that's an important thing there. We are on Instagram on Pod Squatch Growers. We're going to be releasing content through there. Actually, going forward, we're going to integrate our StreamYards into actually going live on Instagram as well. So there'll be multiple places you can tune into the show. It will be a good time. What else can I say? I think that's basically the shit I have to say. I gotta go to work now and go make money so I can afford to try to do all these things. So my friends, my family, love each other. Okay. Thank you for tuning in. I'm sorry that it was an early show, but do what you got to do to make it all bloody work. You know what I'm saying? And we will be releasing that hash video this week. We won't actually see the word hash in the video though. Okay. Because every time we do that, they seem to get mad. So I'm going to omit that one word and see if that appeases the tyrannical overlords that is Google and YouTube. I don't know. We'll see. It's always an experiment and to fuck around with them, just like growing, really. So simply put, love yourselves, love each other. Okay. Be kind. This world is a dark place. The world's going through a lot right now. And together we stand. Divided, we fall. All right. Remember, the true grower is the forever student. The true grower is not afraid to take risks. The true grower makes educated, stupid decisions. Remember, we learn more from our mistakes than we do from our successes. Don't beat yourself up too much, just enough to learn. All right, all right, all right. Love yourselves. We'll see you next time. Keep it sexy. Uncle Pod Squatch loves you. Okay, bye. Fucking fruit flies. Motherfuckers remind me of fungus gnats. Hate that shit. All right, peace out. Bye.